Okay, we're just gonna start now. Let's do this one first. Wow, I am very white. Why am I? I don't know what my camera and lighting are doing, but they just decided to go, hey. I don't know how to fix that. It's really loud for me, actually. Okay, so hello everyone. Hope we're having a fun time. Your post box is so full. I can't put anything else in there. Oh god. Don't worry, I'll jump on. I think. Hold on, let me have another look. Because as you can see by the game title and by the music, we're going to be continuing with Seduce Me. Because I put a post up on my Instagram story saying, what do you guys want me to, that's my activity, saying, what do you guys want me to play? Jump just to see, I want to see your face. Hang on, let me find it. It's here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. So I said, do you guys want me to play Minecraft or Seduce Me or a new game, which I'm pretty keen to play, so... and Seduce Me won by majority... Oh, you can't see that, but Seduce Me won by majority vote. And I just want to see, I want to see your face. I'll save it all for the Minecraft stream, because then it can be all together. Don't worry, we might do that next time, because that was the next vote. Minecraft, yes. That was the next vote, so we might do that next stream, I don't know. Minecraft. the Minecraft enthusiast. So on good news, I got the game to register as like a thing on my screen, so you won't, if I have to toggle between like you don't see my bottom bar and everything, so that's good. I don't know why it decided to work now, but it did. My camera just doesn't want to. My OBS is weird, man. But oh, hello, that was really loud. You just let me know how the music is and everything, because I can't hear what y'all are hearing. Thank you, Nightbot, for once again not being chill. I don't know how to have it. Well, y'all can't see the mouse. Can I make it that you can? I mean, it doesn't matter, but... this one? Oh yeah, capture cursor. Okay. It just doesn't want to... Or can I just not see it? It's... okay. Put something on the cam to cover it from light. I don't know, bro. I've got like my curtains shut and everything. Just catch the lamp window light. Yeah, I think it is too. It's been acting funky past few days, I won't lie. You know, it's not that bad. It's just, it looks like it has a filter on it, and we will say it has a filter on it. But anyways. Continue. I was about to say, this isn't where we left off, this was. So, from memory, where we left off, we got dragged into the, we got dragged off into the demon world, and we cannot leave unless we die. Because that was the curse that was placed on us. And we got our husband back with us, so that's all fun. Well, the music stopped dramatically. I was supposed to put trigger warnings on this, but you know what? It'll be fine. I was also supposed to change this to a, what do you call it? Mature content thing, but I forgot. So we're gonna pretend I did that. And, yeah. So, let's get right into it. Me reading, this is gonna be fun. Okay. We decided not to kill anyone. Yes, we did decide not to kill anyone. Yes. We're gonna, you know, I'll save it till we get to the part. Okay, so Yeah, okay. I'm still not used to this mic. I want to put it on this side. But then it's in the way. Okay, anyways. Okay, so straight into it. So, the dark of sleep was usually a friend of mine, only showing me nightmares on the rarest of occasions. The nightmare of my dying, of, of my dying sent I think it's supposed to say of me dying, of me dying sent shivers down my body as I recalled it, but I knew that it was only a dream. Would I have one like it again? I hope not. Would I have no choice in the matter if another came? That was another story. I opened my eyes to find myself in the mouth of a cave that descended beneath the earth. Behind and above me was a bright light where I could see my friends and family. However, as I looked down into the darkness, I caught the sight of Sam walking away further into the cave. Symbolism and foreshadowing, you gotta love it. Sam? He didn't answer. Sam continued forward, losing himself in the dark. I instantly began to follow, forgetting about the light for a moment, before stopping and looking back. My family had a look of despair while my friends held each other, watching me with broken faces. Was this some sort of message? Was I following Sam into a place my friends and family could not be in? Was this my future? When you know. I became torn. What was I going to do?
You are not worthy.
Oh shit, okay. All of a sudden the darkness became full of fire and the bare outline of Sam flashed before burning away in the light of flames. He couldn't even let out a scream of pain before oh my god, I can't breathe. He couldn't even let out a scream of pain as he was instantly burnt to ash. I'm not screaming. I was sleeping at the night shift, so we gotta be extra quiet today. Run! Run! Diana's voice echoed through the air, but I was frozen in place, watching the flames rush at me and take me as well. If I ran back, my heart would be scarred forever with the memory of flames taking my love away. If I stayed, I would die with Sam. I stood in the middle, unsure of what to do. As the flames took me, I woke up in a hot spot. DMC vibes into DMC? What's DMC? Could be hello. Oh, someone's doing construction outside. Gripping the covers, I sat up, staring at the far wall before looking around. My heart was beating wildly as sweat ran down my cheeks and the sides of my head. Another nightmare. Devil May Cry. I don't think I've heard of that. This time, however, Sam woke up with me.
Whoa! Hey, what's wrong?
Another. Love the fifth game. Oh, there's 5 of them. Okay, well, we should put this probably more, but... Okay, I looked at Sam, seeing him not burnt or as ashes, but perfectly okay. Okay, got that. I turned towards him and wrapped my arms around him tightly, now desperate not to let him go. Sam, despite being surprised, wrapped his arms around me and held me close. 2 nightmares, both leaving me and Sam engulfed in flames. I died in the first, he died in the second. What was I going to believe anymore? Sam rubbed my back gently and planted a kiss on my shoulder.
Hey, it's okay, alright? It was a stupid nightmare.
But you died.
You know I can handle anything that comes my way.
Could he really? The doubts I have. I'm just kidding, it's gonna be fine. Oh yeah, also someone in my last stream said that, oh yeah, Haru's gonna cry throughout the remainder of the game, and I denied that. I was wrong, I remembered how this ends, and I'm gonna bawl my eyes out. So you were right, person. It scared me. Okay, could he really? He was strong and he was fast, but he was powerful enough to withstand whatever he had let loose. What? But he was powerful enough to withstand whatever had let loose those flames to swallow him whole. I think I got it. I don't think that's supposed to be our line, but alright, you are not worthy. What did the voice mean? How was Sam not worthy? What was... May I have spoilers? I prefer to be prepared. No. You have to get it the sudden attack like I do. Okay, how was Sam not worthy? What was he not worthy of? There were a million questions running through my head. My mind through oh my god. I can't read. I don't know why. I don't know why I think this is a good idea. Sad tree noises. Yes, and if you do find out, no spoilers in chat. I have a group chat of friends who play this game. I should get them in on this. That'd be funny. What did the voice mean? How was him not worthy? What was he not worthy of? There were a million questions running through my mind, and none of them could be answered, at least not at the moment. I simply rest my head on Sam's chest and then let him pull us back down to the bed to sleep.
Whatever happens, I'll always be here. All right?
So I check my nose is sniffly again. I nodded and closed my eyes, praying that I would not see the nightmare again. As fate was kind once more, I slept peacefully the remainder of the night. I'm ashamed. Oh, you can see the cursor. I was about to say, it's a shame you can't see it because it's got a cool little, like, the Seduce Me symbol on it. It's so cool. I slowly woke from my sleep, feeling the ache of the morning consume and rush through my body relentlessly in an attempt to keep me contained in the bed. I didn't mind. I was pressed against a warm chest, one whose arms I adored to be in. Oh, okay. The nightmare plagued my thoughts, but my heart flooded in reality, knowing that I was feeling. Oh God. I don't know why I struggle. Knowing that I was feeling in the physical world was what I was supposed to care about. Got it. I look up to Sam's sleeping face, giggling at the sight of his messy bed hair. He's so cute. Sam slowly woke up from the sound of my laughter, blinking the sleep away to stare at me.
Morning.
Morning. I smiled and kissed him on the lips and rouse. That says rouse, right? Rouse him only to end up being pulled into a tight and loving embrace, my head buried in his shoulder.
Did you sleep okay?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the second time, yeah. It's gonna be another compilation of me just saying yeah. Oh, the second time, yeah. Sam nodded understanding against oh my god. Apologies, chat, you know what I'm like. Sam nodded in understanding against my shoulder as I wrapped my arms around him. I felt so warm and safe within the confines of his embrace that the thoughts of the nightmare I had vanished from my mind. It would come back, but it was gone for now. I love that. Chat, you're covering the heart things, you can't see it. No. It's a super cool thing. I could do a mini essay on the little heartbeat effects, but we're not going to get into that. I pulled back a bit and kissed Sam once again, smiling happily and running my fingers along his back. Sam gently squeezed me and kissed me back, melting into the embrace between us. I skipped too far ahead. Morning kisses with Sam felt wonderful, and I didn't want to get up or pull away. I simply desired to relish in the feeling I had for Sam and letting him completely take over my thoughts.
Hey.
Hey, yeah?
Since we're in the demon world, do you think that maybe...
I opened my eyes to look over his shoulder, trying to understand what he was insinuating. When it finally came to me, I held my breath in realization. The demon marriage.
You don't have to decide right now, but before we go back, maybe think about it?
I wasn't sure what to say. My mind danced across the idea of binding my soul to Sam, but at what cost? I'll think about it. Sam nodded in understanding, kissing my shoulder. I knew it was something Sam really wanted, but I can't read. But it was something was it something I was willing to go through? Sam gently loosened his embrace and pulled away to look at me with a tired smile.
I don't want to get up yet.
Mood. Me this morning before I remembered I had to stream. I laughed knowing this was how Sam operated in the morning. He was definitely not a morning person, so seeing him curl up to me and ask permission to stay in the bed was still an endearing sight, and that reminded me how much I loved him. My heart warmed as I smiled and kissed his forehead. We love forehead kisses, chat. Then we don't have to. We can sleep in a little longer if we want. Sam smiled and closed his eyes, pulling me against his chest with a hearty chuckle.
Good. We can go eat later.
Our peace was broken, unfortunately, by the sound of knocking at our door. Sam and I let out a simultaneous groan. Our plans was ruined.
Go away!
Hang on, sorry, I have stuff popping up. Pre-roll ads? I'm assuming pre-roll ads are on. Are you guys getting ads? Let me know if you're getting ads. Oops.
Sam, we brought breakfast.
We'll eat later!
Are you seriously going to argue with me?
Come on, it's like 9 a.m.
We love it. Now I was getting upset. I wanted to stay in bed, feel Sam's arms around me for a little while longer. Was it so much to ask? Screw breakfast? No ads? Oh, okay. That's so weird. And I was getting upset. I read that. We have 3 more hours until noon. Me.
Oh my god, just get up already. We're burning daylight here.
Sam and I whined now irritated that our plans to sleep in became ultimately impossible. However, we both understood that today was a new day and we had to start preparing to take on the Demon Lord. I said, that is aggressive tapping on my spacebar. I'm sorry, I think it picks it up, I'm not too sure. I slowly rose and sat up in bed, yawning as Sam begrudgingly followed suit. Alright, come in. The door opened and in poured the Incubi brothers and their wives, carrying a plate of food each. James and Iridessa held out their 2 extra plates for me and
Thanks,
Sam.
Dessa.
You're welcome, Sparky.
Oh, I love that so much. Thank you, James.
Of course.
I love that so much. There's a story behind that nickname, and I want it. James and Iridessa moved away from us as we both looked down at our plates. On it were fruit slices, bread, cheese, and some form of jerky I didn't recognize. It was probably safe, knowing the others were eating it as well. Sam, however, lowered his plate to his lap and looked up at his brothers.
So, what's the plan?
Well, we should probably take the next couple of days to train properly. Since we're in Lilith Castle, we'll have access to training equipment.
Lilith Castle, this place has a name. The boys and Irene, Eric's wife, nodded in reply. Sam stuffed a stick of jerky in his mouth and began to chew on it as Damien began to explain.
The first succubus, Lilith, was exiled here after being cast out of Eden by the heavens. She became a demon and soon began to breed more incubi and succubi than the world could control.
Wait, Lilith as in Lilith from the Bible?
Yes. During her time here, she established a kingdom with this very castle at its heart.
It's a pretty castle indeed. I've never had the pleasure of coming here. I'm not really a fan of it.
Sorry, I love him so much. Sam swallowed a bite of jerky, had in his mouth, and licked his lips, joining in the conversation.
Alright, so we train until we can't anymore.
Obviously, we'll need breaks in between, but we can't afford to let a day go by without intense training. We only have a week after all.
Yeah. Worry began to bubble in the back of my mind. Everyone was willing to step up and start training, but Eric was right. We only had a week to prepare for the Demon Lord. Would we be strong enough in this time? Look, if they could kick Malik's ass in about a week it took them, they should be good.
You fear too soon, child.
Huh? I straightened up my back and looked around, hearing the voice of my dream echo through the air. Everyone else looked at me curiously, wondering why I spoke up.
Wait, what?
Did you say something?
I looked around at everyone, seeing their confused faces. Did they not hear the voice?
They cannot hear me, child.
Neat. I shook my head, rubbing it gently with a nervous laugh. Sorry, I thought I missed something. The confusion in everyone's faces dissipated as everyone got back to the topic at hand. One I couldn't remember or focus on. My thoughts went back to the voice, wondering how it was speaking to me and how it knew what I was thinking.
I am closer than you imagine.
What do you mean?
Be patient, child.
The time for answers will come soon enough.
I grew more and more concerned and confused. What was the spirit talking about?
I am no mere spirit.
Then what are you?
That I cannot tell you yet. When the time comes, you will know.
Well, I could focus on was the voice in my head.
Answers will come when the time is right. For now, I will bid you farewell.
Wait.
Whoa, wait, what?
I didn't realize I spoke out loud until everyone looked at me again. I looked at Damien, wondering if he heard anything going on in my head, but he seemed just as confused, if not more so than the others.
You alright?
I like the voice. The echoey one that we don't know? Yeah. I don't know, I can't remember who voices it. Oh, screw it, we're looking it up. Who voices the mysterious voice? Please stop getting tangled. Can guarantee you I can find it. Yes. I'll look it up later because it kind of sounds familiar. I don't know. Cast. Here we go. Sounds like great. Yeah, right. Okay, here's. Oh, no, lost the cast. Okay, here's the cast. We know that one, we know that one, we know that one, we know that one. Know that one, know that one, know that one. That's who. Okay. You're not bad. I just saw what he looked like. Can't spell apparently either, Jesus. Okay, that's who plays Mystery Voice. He has a nice vocal range, I bet. Oh, who was it? I remember seeing this on like an interview with the cast. They said that, I can't remember whose voice it was, but it was like really super deep, and then when they no, but please. And they apparently like their voice is super deep, and then like normally it's just like higher in level, so they're thrown off a little bit. I'm trying to remember if this option has consequences. I feel like this is something we should tell them about. Like, hey, I'm hearing voices and you're not. Is that concerning? And apparently it's not a spirit. I feel like we should tell them. Because, you know, communication is key in these type of situations. In any situation, really. I sighed. They had to know what was going on. Well, I just heard this voice in my head.
Huh?
A voice in your head? But I didn't hear any other voice but yours.
Did it sound like anyone you know?
Oh yeah, Damien is still like demon. He can still read minds in Sam's thing. I shook my head, remembering the sound of it. It was deep and echoey, masking any relatable trace from it. For all I knew, it was some sort of illusionary creation of my own mind. Then again, if I created it, then Damien would have been able to hear it. I sighed and rubbed my head. It was some sort of deep voice telling me to be patient and not to be afraid. It wouldn't tell me its name. I can't even remember its name. So there you go. I became worried about everyone thinking that I was crazy. I knew I wasn't, but I definitely sounded like someone who wasn't mentally there. Sam, however, wrapped an arm around me and hugged me to his
Well,
side.
whoever that voice is, it's right. There's nothing to be afraid of.
I wouldn't be too sure about that just yet.
Everyone in the room turned their heads to see Diana and Sarah standing at the door. Diana stepped further into the room as Sarah stood at attention watching them.
You five have been gone during the 10 years of this war. You do not seriously believe that you will be ready for this in a mere week, do you?
I'm gonna be right back. I just started. Just grabbing a tissue. Why? Oh well, I will be on here for a little bit longer. Sorry. Let's just.
You five have been gone during the 10 years of this war. You do not seriously believe that you will be ready for this in a mere week, do you?
Diana seemed firm and serious. I could understand why, but a part of me felt a bit angry that she shut down our prep talk. Sam glared at Diana.
And if we do?
Then it is a foolish mistake.
How so?
10 years of absence can be unkind to one's abilities.
To be fair, it has only been 2 years for us.
Regardless, when was the last time any of you actually fought in battle?
Silence consumed the room. She was right. However, we weren't willing to give up that easily. I stood up and placed my plate on the bed behind me. Why does it matter when we're going to defeat the Demon Lord either way?
We will. But there is no reason to try and breed ideas of false hope that it will be easy. Too many lives have been lost in this war with the hope that they'll all survive. It's better to be realistic.
I guess, fair enough. The tone in her voice echoed a heavy warning. No doubt she had seen hundreds of thousands of deaths in the war firsthand, but now was not the time to doubt ourselves. Sam stood up as well, standing at my side in defiance.
Fuck that. If you're right, then hope's the only thing we got.
Sarah stepped up to Diana's side, giving Sam a blank stare in return for his mistress.
Hope can only take you so far. Do you truly believe it will help you defeat the Demon Lord?
I felt Sam take my hand and nod, affirming his words. I smiled and squeezed his hand, agreeing. Sarah and Diana stared at us with Diana crossing her arms. Something was on Diana's mind, and she stared at Sam just from looking in her eyes. What was it?
Can you say that with confidence?
I can. Want me to?
Not to derail the topic, but this is a waste of time. We should be preparing for war, not bickering about if we can or not.
A moment of silence passed through the room as Diana stared at Sam sternly. However, she was distracted, distant from the conversation, as if she was stalling time to have her thoughts wander. What was keeping her real attention?
Well, I'm not going to argue about this. Believe what you wish.
Sam and I waited and watched Diana lowered her arms to her side with a sigh.
However, we do have something to discuss.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is another scene where it's like the same in all of them, so pay attention because I probably won't be doing this again. Diana ran a hand through her hair and looked around the room, pressing her lips into a fine line.
So, about all of you participating in the war.
Okay, I lied. It's definitely a scene that's repetitive, so pay attention. Everyone nodded in agreement to Diana's statement. While we weren't battle ready, we still needed to at least know how to defend ourselves. Diana, however, looked to me.
You, most of all.
Me? I was suddenly confused. How come I was the odd one out that had to be ready the most? The last thing I remembered about me training was that Diana was against the idea altogether.
Apparently, there are guidelines to breaking this curse. Not only do we have to kill the Demon Lord, but you have to be nearby when it happens for the curse to even break.
That makes no sense. Where did you learn this?
Shadow. He spent the night trying to find alternative ways to break your curse. Unfortunately, we didn't find anything of the sort, but we found the guidelines to breaking it.
Well, it still makes no sense.
Even while it doesn't, it's still better to be safe than sorry. I don't want to kill him and then still have you stuck here because of an error.
Okay. My brain being weird, when you think about it, that's a good way to keep us involved, from the perspective, to see everything plotline-wise. It's smart. Michaela knows what she's doing. I can only sigh and take it in, so I had to be there when the Demon Lord fell. Great. Diana waved her hand dismissively through the air, breaking my potential thoughts.
Anyway, We can't have you dying on the way there, and we can't monitor you when we're in battle. You should at least know how to defend yourself. That's why we've come up with a solution.
Huh? What solution?
Simple. The other rebel leaders and Sero have agreed that if you'd like a trainer to enhance your abilities, you can train with one of them.
I stared, seeing Sarah step forward with a nod.
Each of the leaders is proficient in a different area of magic and battle strategy, good enough for self-defense. I can't speak for the others, but I can assure you that with Sero's skill and training methods, you will be well prepared by the time the siege arrives.
Sarah nodded and bowed to me slightly. While I was flattered at the idea, did I really need a trainer? I knew Taekwondo at least, and I at least knew how to defend myself, demon or not. Then again, we were in a demon world where magic was the norm. Exactly. Like, Mika, I love you. Taekwondo, I'm gonna help you here. Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, so what can the others teach me? Dana ran a hand through her hair, looking to the side as she listed off each leader and their skills.
Sergeant is a brute demon, bred from a nomadic tribe. He most likely teach you the ways of the brute demon, using your fists and speed to keep you alive. Shadow is, by definition, a shadow demon, so he'd probably teach you about dark magic, light manipulation, and assassination. Rabbit is a wild magic-based animal demon, using her animal-focused energy as her weapon. She'd probably teach you how to do the same. Fae? I am honestly not sure. I know they can change their size and use elemental magic as well, but to be honest, I do not know what they would teach you.
Okay. Here's the next important bit. Who are we choosing? I'm not going to... That's weird. Usually there's... Okay, apparently I must have skipped the option. There was an option to choose Diana as a trainer, but I'm going to save her for James. Because it, like, the subplot with her flows nicely in with James's. I'm trying to think, who'd be a good one for Sam? Who do we think in chat? I think there are actual, like, canon answers for this, but it doesn't really matter to the overall plot. So weird. I could have sworn you could have got Diana as a trainer. Canon, yeah. So like when you look up the answers to the game, because like obviously you get like a playthrough answers. It gives you like what trainer to go with. It doesn't matter to the overall plot what trainer you go with, but there are some that make more sense. Like if you choose Diana with James, that makes more sense, like plotline wise. Just trying to think who else is there. I feel like Sarah would go good with Eric. Not too sure. But either way, who do we want as a trainer? Just trying to think. What have we got? Shadow magic is pretty cool. So we've got animal magic, shadow magic, and assassination. We've got brute demon magic and whatever Faye's doing. I'd choose Faye. Okay, we want to choose Faye. Okay, we'll go Faye. Dana raised an eyebrow but nodded. Faye was a wild card, so who knew what they would teach me? Still, my curiosity was getting the better of me, and I knew it. I'd try it. With that, Diana turned on her heel and left the room.
Finish eating. Afterwards, you should start training.
Everyone in the room nodded the affirmations as Diana and Sarah left.
Well, it looks like we'll be busy for the next couple of days.
This'll be fun.
Man, training's gonna suck.
It'll be worth it, though.
Damien's right.
As we all finished eating, everyone left to either train or do things on their own. I left to start my own work, determined and prepared for what was to come. The demon wasn't going to win. I wouldn't let him. Okay, here we go. My god, what do you want? You are distracting. You're gonna go on mute. Okay, fixed. Okay. Training, let's do this. I reported to a large grand hall. Apparently, it was strictly to be used for Sarah and Diana, but since training me for defense became a priority, I was given a room along with my trainer of choice, Faye. I didn't know what made me choose Faye. They were indeed a wild card choice. Who knew what I would learn from them? They were obviously a fairy, but what kind of abilities fairies have in this world? I could tell that they were nothing like the fairies in fantasy fairy tales, so the idea of learning about them became tantalizing curiosity within me. Oh. Look at them! They're so cute. As I arrived, I saw Faye flutter around the room, wowed at the space they were given to train me.
Whoa! This room is so huge! How the heck did we get this room? When did the castle even have this room? Holy crap!
I love them. I giggled and stepped in, watching as the fairy flew to and fro from one side of the room to the other in excitement. Hopefully they wouldn't be too distracted by the size of the room to train me. Hey, Faye. Faye at last turned to me with a large grin and flew close to me, placing their hands behind their back.
Hiya! You ready to learn some cool tricks from a cool demon like me?
Yes! I smiled and picked a good trainer, nodding. I pressed my hands to... I can read. I smiled. I picked a good trainer. Nodding, I pressed my hands on my hips. Absolutely, I'm ready. Faye grinned before floating over to the far end of the room, cupping their hands together and calling out to me.
Come over here!
I tilted my head confused a bit, but shrugged and ran forward, eventually stopping at Faye's side. They clapped in applause with me and a bit more confused. But I bowed to them amused.
Alrighty! Now, race it to the other side!
Wait, what? Before I could question Faye, they reeled back and zipped across the room towards the far wall. I rushed behind, trying to catch up, but I didn't make it in time to beat Faye from touching the wall.
I win!
Because you didn't warn me it was going to be a race. Faye looked at me confused before rubbing their head.
But this is training! Aren't I supposed to teach you how to be fast and dodgy and stuff?
I suddenly realized what I got myself into. Faye had no idea what they were doing. Hello. A figure who was standing in the corner watching the whole event stepped out of the shadow, slightly surprising me when he walked up to Faye.
Boss, I think you should be teaching the human how to defend herself. Just saying.
Faye turned to me. I'm sorry, that's too funny. Faye just, you have a thought behind those eyes, Faye. Faye turned around and flailed their arms at the figure.
Terminus! Don't tell me what to do! I can do this!
At least Terminus knows what they're doing. Terminus let out a snort with an amused smirk, crossing his arms at his apparent boss and shrugged.
Alright, whatever you say. I was just making a suggestion.
Faye puffed out their cheeks at Eternus before turning back to me. I became concerned. Would I be able to learn anything from Faye other than racing? We're gonna stay. You gotta have faith in them. But she's right. Speed and maneuvers, true. Which is why we're staying. You gotta have a little bit of faith. I took a moment to take a deep breath and let it out. Who knew what Faye had in store? Maybe they'd teach me how to grow wings or become small. Their abilities could be pretty useful, especially the wings. Faye pressed a finger to their chin before suddenly getting an idea.
I know! I can teach you a really cool attack!
Sure. I suddenly became excited. An attack? I knew the training was meant for my self-defense, but having an offensive attack would prove to be very useful in a war I was essentially about to jump into. If they can't point you, they can't hit you. Oh, yep. I gotcha. True. Very, very true. Faye grinned at me before turning to open the space and holding their hands out. closing their eyes and focusing their energy. I watched as a green orb slowly appeared before their palms, growing in the size until it became the size of a baseball. Faye opened their eyes and gripped it with both hands, looking at me with a grin.
This is called the thorn bush.
Thornbush? Faye nodded ecstatically before arching their hands back behind. You move fast and unpredictable, helps you keep safe. It does, that is very true, yep. Faye nodded ecstatically before arching their hands back behind their head and chucking the orb forward into the space. As it impacted the ground, the orb popped up like a bubble and released a cloud of green gas that covered a large portion of the floor. The gas quickly began to materialize into a web of thorny branches, stretching out over the floor and stopping just before where Faye and I stood. Branches continued to sway in the air as if they were alive. Whoa. I was absolutely astonished. This seemed like a really cool trap, but was it effective? I turned my gaze to Faye to see them look at it. I already forgot how to pronounce the name. Eternimus? With a smug expression.
Look at the little face! Look at the little face!
It's so cute!
Hey, Eternimus! Try and walk through it.
Payback. With an amused grin and a roll of his eyes, Eternimus summoned his spear and walked forward into the area where the bush had made claim. I watched in curiosity, wondering what the thorn bush would do. I gasped as branches closest to Eternimus began to lash out and strike at him, only to be blocked and cut down by his spear. With a concentrated expression, Eternimus began to cut through the bush, driving it back slowly but surely. While I understood that he knew about how to deflect Faye's trap, it was an interesting spell nonetheless. If anything was able to slow down enemies and attack them as I went on, it was a good distraction. As Eternimus reached the center, he rammed his spear into the spot where the bush sprouted from, causing the branches around him to wither and die, fading into the air like they were never there. Whoa, that was... I don't think this matters, but like... I want to say pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Ads, please. I had to admit, it looked really cool, even to the end. It was very effective, and I was pretty good. Oh my god, it was very effective, and I was going to learn it. Go me, go me. Faye turned and smiled at me, bobbing a bit in. Oh my god. Okay. Faye turned and smiled at me, bobbing a bit in the air in excitement.
Isn't it? It's one of my favorite trap spells. What's even cooler is that if you throw it at a person, they'll be covered in thorns and won't be able to fight back.
That's cool. That was a game changer. I stared at Faye, shocked. It really could do stuff like that. Then again, there wasn't really a good way to test it because none of us wanted to be on the receiving end of that spell, and there were no training dummies in that room. I had to take her word for it. Faye grinned before crossing their arms and sitting in the air, pondering.
What else to show you?
Eternimus looked over and shook his head, walking back to his corner.
Make the human try what you just did first before showing us something new.
All right.
Eternimus is not getting paid enough. They looked over. Ooh, mysterious music playing. They looked over at me and waved their hands out. Oh my god. Faye looked over to me and waved their hands out into the room, gesturing me to do what they did. It was mildly adorable to see them do that, but I shook my thoughts and focused on trying to replicate what Faye did. I looked at my hands, trying to focus on forming a green orb in my hands. I began to imagine it, hoping it would spark my energy to form the spell, but I found out that imagination wouldn't work, or at least it wasn't enough. I glared at the back of my hands, trying to figure it out. Faye floated beside me and looked at my hands as well, tapping at their chin.
Maybe if you squint really hard or something.
Oh, I love them. Faye. Buddy. I turned my head to Faye, not wanting to be a bad student, but needing the teacher to actually teach me. Faye floated back a bit, placing their hands in front of them by their chest.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's like,
Like what?
Well, I mean, you're a human, and I don't exactly know if you have magic and stuff. Like,
They wiggled their arms beside them, flailing a bit before flying around me and scratching their head.
like, root demons have, like, rage energy to battle, and then Diana has her ooh la la kind of sexual energy or whatever to power her powers. But for me, it just comes naturally, you know? I just think about it and poof, it happens. But I'm a demon, so it's supposed to happen.
I completely forgot that they call it that. Oh Jesus! Yep, I love them so much. I nodded, understanding what they meant, but I pressed forward, knowing humans could perform magic if they wanted to. We had energy too, after all. Well, can you show me how to do it again, or maybe do it with me or something? Faye tapped their chin, listening to me, before nodding and turning to the side. They pointed their hands out and focused on their fingers, which caused me to turn and do the same. I stared as Faye took a breath and mimicked them perfectly. I was going to do this one way or another. I looked at my hands and tried to focus one more time. I tried to imagine my energy flowing through my hands and forming a green orb, hoping it would spur the action to happen. Come on. Finally, something in my mind clicked. I closed my eyes and focused on my breathing, feeling the air flow through my body. I began to mentally scour my body and taking a note of the inhales and exhales I released before figuring it out. I concentrated on the air around my body, imagining it to be like imagining it to be like the energy I imagined myself to have. Like that, I felt very faint waves pulse through my body, confirming that I indeed had energy and it had energy to use and a lot of it. I smiled and looked to my hands again, knowing and feeling the energy within me before committing to call it forward into a green orb. Obediently, my energy began to flow into my hands, making them blow lightly before forming an orb just in front of my palms. It began to pulse and grow in size, making Faye look over and gasp.
Holy crap, you're doing it! You're doing it!
I grinned from ear to ear, and as I continued to focus on the orb, once it became the size of both my hands, I grasped onto it and pulled it over my head and before chucking it into the empty room. Just like Faye's orb, mine popped up once it crashed into the floor and formed a large strings and lines of thorny branches, waving creepily in the air and releasing a threatening appearance. I couldn't have been proud of myself. Faye zipped through the air happily, punching their fists into the air.
Yeah! You did it!
Ah, so cute. I couldn't help but jump a bit as well. It was tough, but I had imagined to pull it off. But I had managed to pull it off. I felt a slight tingle in my hands and arms from using energy, but I didn't mind. Faye finally floated over to me and grabbed my hands, shaking them in joy.
You're gonna have so much fun training!
I love them.
I guess I don't have to ask if everything is okay in here.
Faye and I turned our heads to see Diana leaning against the doorway with a small smirk. I smiled a bit and nodded, looking to the magic I had performed that was still wiggling in the center of the room. Faye released my hands and flew over to Diana, grabbing the succubus hand and pulling her into the room.
Whoa!
Look! Isn't it so impressive? It's the second best spell I know, and she mastered it!
Wait, what? I stared at Faye in shock. This was their second best spell? They really trusted me to learn it, and it was their second best. What was the first? What was the last? Diana observed the branch monster closely. Diana observed the branch monster I had essentially summoned and nodded with a chuckle.
I told you, she's a powerhouse of energy. I'm not surprised that she could pull this off.
Yeah, let's get it. I felt a bit flattered that Diana believed me, but Faye flew around Diana and flicked the succubus hair, making Diana jump a bit and glared at the flying demon.
Yeah, but you didn't tell me that she was awesome!
Diana chuckled a bit before letting out a sigh and with a shake of her head.
I'll leave you be then. Have fun, dears.
Faye was grinning from ear to ear as Diana turned on her heel and walked away. As soon as she left the room, Faye spun around and lifted themselves higher into the air.
Alrighty, let's make you the master of the thorn bush.
I laughed and felt excitement rush through my veins. This was going to be fun. We spent the entire day focusing on how to make this spell happen quicker, faster, and become more naturally to me. I left exhausted, but thrilled at what I was able to do now. That's not what it said at all, but it's close enough. I walked into the room and let out a sigh. Today was tough, and I could tell it was only going to get much tougher later in the week. I felt my feet slide across the floor in exhaustion, not used to this strenuous work I had to do. I sat down on the bench in front of the fireplace, staring into the flames as I let... No, it's not till later. Okay, I'm thinking of the wrong scene. I was staring into the flames as I let relaxation finally hit my body. The warmth of the fire gave me a dull sense of calm, causing me to sigh and lean back against the bench.
You have done well, child.
Honey, how are you again?
Fear not. I come to observe you as you observe me.
I tilted my head, confused as to what the voice meant. I looked around and scoured the room before turning my gaze back to the fireplace. Within it, I could barely make out the outline of eyes, which caused me to freeze in my spot. Honey, what the hell? You're in the fire.
I am a flame, but I am not the fire you gaze upon. I merely look through it to judge you, and the one named Almaris.
Almaris is Sam's demon name, by the way, for those who forgot. You're judging us? Why? For what?
That will be known soon. When the time is right, the one destined to take my power will be tested.
I stared into the fire, lost and confused. Why were we being judged? Was this some sort of trick by the Demon Lord? As I thought of that, the flame instantly intensified slightly.
The Demon Lord, an evil being of this world. He is a curse plaguing this land.
You know what's really bad when... I can't say what... I can't... No spoilers. But you know what's really bad when these guys are thinking it. You all hate the Demon Lord as well?
He is not worthy of life, but I care not enough to rise from the darkness to rid the world of him myself.
It's that bad. Even these guys are like, ha, no. What do you mean?
I have been generous with you, child. You must now be patient.
Before I could even think to protest, the eyes hidden within the flames vanished, and the voice disappeared from my mind, as if it were part of a dream I had awoken from. I shook my head and rubbed my head, taking it in. Some sort of spirit or guardian was watching over us. Apparently, it seemed to be strong enough to defeat the Demon Lord himself. Was it possible? Even more... I beg for spoilers. No! I love spoilers. I don't! So you'll have to witness it like I do. You have to get that like I did. Even more so, it was going to test one... Even more so, it was going to test one of us to take his powers. Got it. My mind instantly went to Sam. There was no reason for me to be the one to be tested, so it had to be him. How would he be tested, though? Sad tree noises. Sad tree noises. Pat, pat. Head pats for the tree. I shook my head. This was too confusing to think about right now. However, as I sat back and... However, as I sat back and let my mind recognize itself, I suddenly realized something. Where was Sam? Oh, I was right. This is the right scene. Okay. I stood and walked to the door, opening it and peeking out into the hall. Sam was nowhere in sight. What the... Sam was really late coming back from what we discussed. He should have been back at least on the way. However, the distance to their training area was not that far. I began to wander the halls trying to find where they were. Luckily, Sam made a lot of noise.
Fuck you!
Found him! I was about to say, I don't remember this scene, but I'm with it now. I just, I didn't think it came in that order. What is this? No, okay. Okay, well, found him. Sam. This is one of my favorite soundtracks of the whole game. I rushed towards the noise, stopping at the door, peering in. I gasped as I saw the war room in disarray as everyone seemed to hug through the walls, watching the chaos that was breaking in the middle of the room. Anyways, Sam and Sarah were clashing their sword to spear, with Sam's face full of rage, and Sarah's expression void of any emotion. Can we appreciate this? Look how cool! I haven't... It's a cool sword.
You're too slow. Faster! You want me to go faster? Fine!
Before my eyes, Sam and Sarah became nearly visible... Fuck me. Before my eyes, Sam and Sarah became barely visible shadows through the air, their weapons clanged rapidly, almost like multiple bullets crashing at once as they raced towards one another. Sarah was cool. Sarah was so fucking cool, dude. Y'all don't even know. Those that do, they know. What is going on? The incubi and their wives moved towards the door to join me, still watching the fight.
Sam was about to leave for the night, but then that jerk-ass Zero called him a weak coward. Well, you know how Sam is. He did actually try to walk away, but then Zero said that the war was his fault, so that got this whole shitstorm started. We've been at it ever since.
The hell? I know, I just said Sarah's really cool, but I forgot how much of a dick he was in this route. Oh, that's not changing. I look back to Sarah and Sam, still unable to make either of them out as they clashed and fought. My eyes locked onto Diana, seeing her lean against the far wall with crossed arms. As I examined her, her eyes seemed to follow the fight, almost masterfully. Was she able to see what the hell was happening despite their lightning speed? Why was she just watching anyway? Sam, stop it.
Keep at it, Seto. Don't let him stop.
What the hell? I ran over to Diana despite her not taking her eyes off the fight. Why aren't we stopping this, Diana? Oh, I forgot which option it was! I'm pretty sure it was wait and watch. No, yeah. Which option was it? Damn it! Provocation makes everything more true. You're not wrong. I think we have to wait and watch. Because, like, Diana has her reason. Oh god, I can't remember. Yeah, because Diana's got a reason. I don't know why I'm defending her. I don't think attacking Diana would do much anyway, so... I still wasn't understanding why was I not getting any answer. I turned my gaze to the fight, desperate to try and see what Diana wanted me to witness.
Are you that weak, Incubus? You haven't landed a blow on me once!
Shut your fucking mouth!
Like father, like son!
He's dead. I didn't understand why Sarah was egging him on and insulting him, but Sam seemed up for the battle regardless of the fact, using the insult as inspiration to rage. Like, God, I can never compare them to their dad, man. That's messed up. However, from the faint outline of Sam that I could see, I noticed something was off about him. He was surrounded by a heavy green and red mixed aura. The more I watched, the more of the aura seemed to build and take shape around Sam's body. Also, he even did he was sure bruh, that's butchering it though. Yeah, so the green stuff around here is the aura. Note that it's never gone red before, to my knowledge, it's never gone red before. I couldn't tell what it was, but it looked almost alive.
Enough!
He's so cute. I'm talking about Sarah. At once, Sam and Sarah slid to the opposite sides of the open space, panting and gasping for air. Around Sarah was a faint white light that was that was diminishing with each breath he took. Badass. Around Sam, however, it was a clear view of tense red and green aura. It seemed to flicker around Sam like flames, but it didn't seem to die even when the battle being over.
What the hell?
What is that?
Sarah.
It's like even they don't know what it is. Diana pushed off the wall and walked to Zero, wrapping an arm around his head and making him gasp at the gesture. That's Simp. he looked at her in shock as she turned to Sam with a hard gaze.
It would seem that we have much to do before the siege.
What are you talking about? Diana seemed to ignore my question as she turned and began to walk towards the room's exit with Sarah in her arm. Sam, on the other hand, dropped to the floor and sat back against the wall, trying to calm down. Instinctively, I rushed over to him. Sam shut his eyes and he forced himself to take deep breaths. Each one seemed less labored than the last, but I could tell he was working to calm his rage. Sam? Buddy? The aura around Sam seemed to die. The aura around Sam finally seemed to die down before Sam let out a heavy sigh and pressed his head back against the wall. I could tell that exhaustion was weighing on him heavily, so I simply sat beside him, waiting.
Sam, what is going on?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sam, you had a weird aura around you.
I said I don't know!
Sam closed his eyes and pressed his back against the wall, letting his head drop to his chest. He genuinely didn't seem to know what was going on, but I became concerned. Why was his aura so strange? My thoughts ran to the voice from the flame. Was this the start of whatever test he had in mind? Why were Diana and Sarah involved, though? He can't control it? Give me all your theories, guys, because I need them. And has to learn to control it, or he will fail. Yeah? I'm neither confirming or denying. I just want to hear all the theories, because like it's good to have fresh brains on it. We wait patiently. We don't want to push him. Yeah, heart, we got it. I knew Sam well enough to not pester him and let him settle down as he started to... let me reread that. I knew Sam well enough to not pester him and let him settle down. As he started, he reached a hand up and gently ruffled my hair.
Sorry you had to see that.
Yeah. I was about to say we saw him like kick Malex's ass in the first game, but we didn't see all of it. I shook my head and held his hand, kissing his palm. As I did, Sam chuckled and stood, ushering me to stand along with him. Sam gently took my hand and walked to lead me out of the room.
Hey, hold on!
Shut up, Squirt.
Squirt! What the hell?
Matthew, hey, chill.
Oh, I love the dynamic so much. He looked back to see Norin? I forgot how to pronounce it. What? And it is this weak point that can control to this. There's a saying for what you just said. Okay, Ellen, I want you to take that comment, put a pin in it. We will come back to that. We'll come back to that. So, so Daddy's blood speaks to him, and it is his weak point. I can control him through this. Yeah, put a pin in that comment. We're gonna take that comment. We're gonna put a pin in it, and we'll come back to it at a much later date. But we'll keep that in mind. We'll come back to that. I look back to see I look back to see Noreen and Damien holding Matthew back from pouncing at Sam, but I continued with Sam out of the room. As we walked down the hall, I looked to Sam, seeing the exhaustion in his eyes grow heavier and heavier. He used a lot of energy. I will be bursting of laugh if I am right. Yes, but also no. We'll put the pin in it. Pin in it. We're coming back to it. I wrapped my arm around him and guided him back to our rooms, sitting in the bed and eventually flopping back into it with me. As he let out a relaxed grunt, I kissed his cheek. Everything okay?
Yeah. Just exhausted. Man, Fuck that guard.
No. Just kidding. Oh god, that's funny. I smiled and hugged him, ushering him to wrap his arms around me with a kiss. Fuck, I can't read.
Something really has been weird, though.
You know, shit. I mean, I agree. Both of us went silent as we became lost in thought. And you said, oh my god, sorry. My nose just loves to. It's fine, and then I stream and it runs. It knows. Okay, both of us went. Crumbs of spoilers. Happy tree noises. Ah! It's gonna be up there for a while. Crumbs of spoilers. It's interesting theory. Interesting. Oh, actually, interesting theory. That's all I'll say. Both of us went silent and became lost in thought. I knew Sam was trying to determine what happened, but I was concerned over what the voice in the flame said and how that reflected on Sam. I'm just trying to think of that saying, dude. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. The nightmare I had made a little more sense, but why was I involved? Sam and I went to bed that night, both unsure of what was going on and mildly fearful of what was happening. We couldn't speak about it without knowing all the pieces. We both knew better than to take stabs in the dark. That was it. Oh, don't make me read the Wikipedia. Don't read the Wikipedia! No. No. No spoilers. You must be involved. It's a pretty good plot twist. Just... my night was uneventful, but my morning wasn't the same. Oh god, is it? Okay, this is another favorite soundtrack of mine. Slight... And I was silent of what... Whoa! I was silent of what I find there. Yes, don't give other people spoilers, because some people in chat might not have read it. Slight trigger warning for what's about to happen. I don't know how to say this trigger warning, but kind of, sort of trigger warning for what's about to happen. I don't know how to explain it. I didn't expect to wake up with a hand over my mouth with an arm fuck me, I didn't realize... Oh, I can't read. I didn't expect to wake up with a hand over my mouth with an arm tied around my waist. I tried to focus my vision, but as the sensations of my situation set in, I gasped and struggled to see who was keeping me captive. I stayed wide-eyed, seeing Sarah staring ahead of us as he kept my mouth shut and held me against him with his other arm. What was even stranger was that he was using his holy magic, disabling me to use any energy to fight back. What the hell? I looked ahead to see a sight I never wanted to see. Diana straddling over Sam's waist as he slept, looking down at him with pure concentration. What was she doing now? Did this have something to do with what happened last night?
Patience, child.
I froze at the sound of the voice in my head. The voice was in on this act too.
She's merely following instructions. No harm will come to him.
I can't remember if this is one of those major consequence ones. I'm just trying to think, well, okay. Do we struggle out of this? Or do we be patient? Chat, what are we thinking? Because personally, I want to struggle, because this is just freaking weird. I'm struggling. Actually, no, you guys are going to say we're struggling. I didn't care. This was beyond wrong. Whatever the hell Diana wanted to do to Sam, I started to struggle in Sarah's arms. I can't read that. Patience. Oh, too late. We struggle. What the hell Diana wanted... I don't think it matters anyway. I started to struggle in Sarah's arms, but he tightened the hold of me, making me freeze against him.
You have fire within you, but now is not the time to release it.
Diana laid out a small sigh before... Yeah, see, so it didn't matter either way. Diana let out a small sigh before pressing her index finger to the top of her head and dragging it down her face, between her eyes, all the way down to her crotch. What the... The line that formed on Diana's skin seemed to grow and envelope her body in a strange purple light, changing her skin and almost shrinking her form. As the magic finally settled and faded away, I gasped at the sight. Diana's new body was my own, only without clothes. Every curve, every crevice of her body matched mine, and even the voice that came out of her mouth perfectly mirrored my own. Bruh. What? This scene still weirds me out. Sam, wake up. I felt nauseous, watching her fingers run along Sam's hair just like how I would. How the hell did she know anything about how Sam and I interacted intimately? This was creepy and gross, and I felt myself naturally struggle against Sero to be free. Sam's eyes fluttered open and adjusted to the sight of me straddling over his hips. As Diana gave him my perfect smile, I mentally panicked. What was he going to do? Would he fall for this? No way, there was no way. Sam's eyes trailed up and down Diana's body as just like he would do with me whenever he saw me without clothes. Nice. My heart was breaking a bit at the sight.
Get the fuck off me.
Oh, wait, what? He thought. I gasped as Sam suddenly sat up and gripped Diana's neck and began to squeeze. Instinctively, Sarah tightened his hold around me, most likely struggling to obey previous commands to stay put.
What the fuck do you think you're doing, bitch?
Sam, stop. A large part of me felt relieved that Sam could see whatever illusion Diana threw on herself. A small part of me began to fear Diana's neck being snapped because of it. She continued to act like me to perfection as she gripped Sam's wrist. It was mildly scary to see Sam holding Diana, who looked like a copycat of me, in a strange, messed up way. It was like watching a movie where I was a character in the scene, watching the man I love act with the actress playing me. The more I watched Sam crush Diana's neck, the more I could imagine him doing that to me, which made me fearful. He would never hurt me, but to see it happening to someone who looked and acted like me was another thing.
If this is some kind of fucked up joke to you, I will end you right now!
Diana began to cry, most likely losing air from Sam's death choke. As she coughed, her body began to quake from lack of oxygen. Please, Sam, it's me.
Shut the fuck up!
Goddamn. Sam released a hand from Diana's neck and pushed it into her stomach, lifting her off him and shoving her off his lap and oh my god, I cannot read. Let me try that again. Sam released a hand from Diana's neck and pushed it into her stomach, lifting her off him and shoving her off his lap and against the far wall. Got it. Diana crumpled against the floor, curling herself over as she coughed violently and shook from the pain that obvious raped through her. Ugh. However, Sam jumped out of the bed and walked at Diana, glaring at her.
You're not her. Where is she, Diana?
Diana looked up at him with tears rushing down my eyes as she gripped her neck. Sam, it's me, stop it. It's not. Sam quickly lifted his foot, causing Diana to flinch and cover herself with her hands over her head, bracing for impact. While I expected Sam to fall for Diana's trick at the sight of my weakness, he let the kick he was charging up fly into Diana's stomach, slamming her against the wall. Oof. He didn't stop, however, slamming his foot again into her, rebounding her against the wall like a soccer ball.
Where is she?
Really just fucked with the wrong dude, you know? My body began to quake at the sight of Sam kicking Diana, who very much continued to act like me despite the barrage of pain Sam was inflicting on her. This was messed up and wrong. Why was Diana doing this? Why was she letting this happen?
She's following my instructions as I demanded.
And screw you, voice. But yeah, exactly. Fuck your directions, exactly. I began to grow fearful of Sam, instinctively placing myself in Diana's place. It was only natural since she was acting like me right now. Deep in my heart, I knew Sam would never do this to me, and that is true. They drink their respective women juice, except for Diana. But the fear began to fester at the sight of him beating down an image of me.
Fear not, child. He knows very well who he is attacking. I can hear his heart crying as yours is now.
What do you
He
mean?
despises doing this, but you have become the priority of the illusion. He pretends to see the succubus as she really is, as he tries to get his answer. A truly interesting demon.
I shut my eyes. Diana was doing a job and Sam obviously saw through it. He wasn't attacking me. He was attacking Diana for tricking him and assuming she was hiding him from me. I only opened my eyes again to see Sam lift Diana by the throat and pin her to the wall, forming a sword in his free hand and lining it up. Can they do that? Yeah, they can all do that. Forming a sword in his free hand and lining at the tip between her eyes. Even with the blade mere inches away from her face, Diana continued to act, cry, and shaking in fear. Oh god, I know how to pronounce this. Amores.
I will kill you!
Within the blink, the hold on me vanished and Sam flew back from Diana, releasing her and slamming into the far wall. I crumpled to the ground and quickly looked up to see Sarah holding Diana close to his side from his Sarah holding Diana close to his side, and as his form I know the word, I can't say emanated holy white aura. His eyes burned intensely, deadly hatred as white tinted magical barrier surrounded his and Diana's body.
Enough!
Sam shook his head and jumped up, but at the sight of the real me, he instantly dropped the sword and tackled me, wrapping his arms around me and hugging me tightly.
Holy shit! You're okay!
Sam, yeah, dude. I stared into his shoulder, feeling him shake violently as he held me. As he held me, my body couldn't help but shudder with him, feeling every ounce of his. I didn't finish reading that. Every ounce of his love as he gripped me tightly. He knew where his heart belonged, and it led him back to me, even with unbelievable odds attempting to sway him. I wrapped my arms around Sam and buried my face into the shoulder, nodding at him. I'm right here, Sam. Sam refused to let go, digging his fingers into my shirt and pulling me even closer still to his chest. I could feel his heartbeat pound against... What? I could feel his heartbeat pound against his chest and pressed me... Moving on. I, however, peeked over Sam's shoulder to see Diana shift back from my image to her own form, collapsing against Sarah. With ease, Sarah lifted Diana into his arms, like she was a bride who had fainted, but continued to glare at the back of Sam's head. Finally, Sam lifted his head and looked at Sarah, growing a glare of his own.
Tell that bitch to stay away from me if she wants to keep breathing.
I can hear you, Brute.
Do we tell the truth, or do we... Okay, let him speak. Okay. If we let him speak against Diana, I feel like that's gonna cause some conflict, because he's not calm right now, so like... Oh, that was the right choice! Yes, I know what I'm doing. Never doubt me. Sam was completely right to be angry. Damn right. He had every right to want her to stay away from him. However, he also deserved to know the truth of why they did what they did. Sam, they had to. Sam looked at me with a confused look mixed with anger still emitting from his rage at Diana, no doubt. I gripped Sam's shoulders and forced him to fully face me. There's this voice that keeps saying you're being tested. It said that Diana and Sarah were following its orders and testing you. I knew I was making little to no sense, but it was the truth of the matter. Sam had to believe me, and his eyes continued to flood with confusion, making me worried.
She's telling the truth.
I didn't ask you, bitch.
She doesn't need your permission to speak, mutt.
Bro, the hatred for each other, bro. Sam closed his eyes and pressed his lips together, most likely taking in what they had said before he glared at Sarah and Diana.
Why?
Sarah continued to glare at Sam with silence, but Diana lifted her head and looked to Sam from Sarah's arms.
Because it said it will ensure our victory.
Sam raised an eyebrow, slowly starting to believe this was the false reason. but I held his arm, looking to him in hope and earnest. Sam took a moment to look at me before sighing and shaking his head.
What said that?
Some powerful being. I don't know why, but I can feel that this being is more powerful than any of us.
Is that it?
Diana nodded and rested her head on Sarah's chest, causing him to hug her body against
It
him.
won't speak its name, but we're certain we'll find out what it is.
Sam nodded before looking to the ground.
Can you go now?
Yes. Without another word, Sarah walked out of the room with Diana, most likely to help her recover for the training day ahead.
I'm going to kick the shit out of him in training.
At last we were alone. I let out a sigh and wrapped my arms around Sam, laying my forehead against his shoulder. You okay?
No, I'm not. Whatever this thing that keeps testing me is, it got you involved.
Alright. Technically we were involved first. Wait, we're hearing the voices first. I'm just saying. Then wrapped his arms around me and buried his head in my hair, letting out an aggravated sigh.
I'm sorry. Diana was pretending to be you, and I just...
I could hear the regret in his voice, slightly breaking my heart. I knew deep down that he would never hurt me, and that he was just trying to find me. I was wise enough to know the reason for his anger. I'm gonna say it's okay. Yes! I'm good at this game. Sam, okay, for those who don't know, you can't, again, chat's covering it, but there's a little heartbeat that'll come down depending on who you play. So like with Sam, it's going to be a green heart, Eric, it's a red heart, and so on and so forth. But if we get the little heartbeats here, it means like you made the right choice, for the game. That's why I loved him so much. Again, I could go on an essay about him, but we're not going to. Sam was distraught, and I needed to ease his worries. I understood him perfectly. I hugged Sam to me and kissed his cheek, and as he trembled in my arms, he wrapped his arms around me and simply let silence pass between us.
What the fuck is going on?
I didn't know what to say, so I simply held him until it was time to train. We'll do this training session. I began to feel a bit elated at the idea of walking to train with Faye. The stress of the morning needed to be burnt away with the workout, and I knew that Faye would teach me something to take my mind off it. It became like a game, a relief away from the reality of the world. I made my way to the grand hall and stopped at the doorway, looking and taking in the sight of Faye sleeping on the ground. Spread eagle style? What is that? What is spread eagle style? You know, I don't want to know. It took every ounce of control I had not to laugh hysterically. Mika's got more control than I do. Not to laugh hysterically at the sound Faye was releasing when they slept. To think such sounds came out of a cute-looking demon like Faye seemed rather bizarre and cartoon-like. Nevertheless, I knew I had to get started on training. The boys were most likely in the midst of their own training, and I stood there, so I couldn't exactly spend more time watching Faye snore. I stepped quietly into the room, drawing closer to Faye's body as I tried to think of a way to wake them up. What do we want to do? I'll let you guys decide this one. Do we want to like spook them awake, or do we want to wait? What are we thinking? Can I put a poll up? Okay, no, I won't bother with the poll. Do we want to give them a spoop? I can't remember which option leads to. I feel like waiting patiently would be interesting because we want to develop our bond with them. But then scaring them would be funny. I'm going to wait patiently. What are we thinking, chat? Because then we get to like bond with them. Because you're also forming a bond with the trainers as well. What are they called? Rebel leaders. Oh wait. I didn't want to. Hello. Ads, please go away. Thank you. I didn't want to do anything ridiculous. Scaring them could make them shoot up and hit the ceiling for all I knew. That is also true, yeah. I stepped slowly into the room and sat on the ground, watching Faye sleep and snore. It was more humorous to see them sleep up close, watching their nose and mouth widen with each snore they inhaled and released. Soon, 10 minutes went by with me twiddling my thumbs and waiting. I pressed my lips together, wondering if Faye was ever going to wake up. Maybe we should have startled them. Before I could reach over and tap Faye, however, they stopped snoring and scrunched up their face, letting out a tired groan. Faye at last opened their eyes and looked up to me, adjusting their sight to taking me in with a slow... Oh, God.
Oh! You're early.
Well, actually, I've been here for the past 10 minutes. Training was supposed to start already. Faye stared at me for a moment before rolling up onto their legs and lifting themselves off the ground, determined to fully awaken. I stood, following suit, and watched as Faye shook their head. Faye wiggled their arms and let out a tired sigh before blowing raspberries in their mouth and slamming their head against their cheeks.
I am awake!
Mood! I had to cover my mouth to stop the burst of laughter that wanted to erupt from my gut. With the exclamation, Faye became full of energy. Like it was a flip of switch. Like it was, oh my god, I can't read. Faye became full of energy, like it was the flip of a switch. I became mildly jealous of such a feat. Nevertheless, I was eager and ready for my next training session. I placed my arms and sat... No, that's not the word. Read it properly. I placed my arms at my sides and straightened my back, showing the posture of determination and attention. What will we be doing today? Faye looked over to me, looking for some form of answer in my eyes. Despite showing the sudden energy spark like a light bulb earlier, they remained silent for a moment. Were they not sure? I hoped that today wouldn't be going over the thorn bush again. As much as it was a cool trick, casting a thorn bush into existence from dawn till dusk was not as fun as many would imagine it to be, even with the hilarious breaks in between. Finally, a glimmer twinkled in... Oh god. Oh, Faye's got me yawning. Finally, a glimmer twinkled in Faye's eye, making them grin from ear to ear at me.
I know what we're gonna
Oh, what?
do! I'm gonna teach you!
With a burst of energy, Faye shot themselves in the air and spun around before flipping upside down in the air towards me.
I'm gonna teach you how to fly!
Yeah, what? Fly? My mind completely blanked of itself. Fly? I was really going to be taught how to fly. I didn't have wings. How the heck was I going to do that? Faye nodded ecstatically before swooping down and flying around me.
It's so easy! You just need to imagine yourself floating in the air and boom! You'll be flying in no time!
I grimaced, watching Faye fly around me. I suddenly felt like I was in Peter Pan and had to think happy thoughts and go to the second star of the ride to Neverland. Yes. Well, Faye was a fairy, so Faye is Tinkerbell now. I'm suddenly imagining... Hey! There we go! Oh, nice! I'm suddenly imagining you as Tinkerbell, Faye.
Tinker who?
Right, Tinkerbell, not the human mouth. Never mind. Faye stopped circling me and stared for a moment before shrugging and floating away, crossing their arms proudly and physically imitating Sergeant.
Now get those feet off the ground!
I looked down at the ground with my boot-covered feet, making the thorn bush was one... Oh my god. My boot-covered feet. Making the thorn bush was one thing, making myself fly was another. I tried to imagine, but there was no energy in my body that would respond to such a request. How the heck was I going to fly? Okay, I feel like trying to sprout wings would be the better option. Because I don't think Happy Thoughts works here. While I wasn't in a children's book, I was certain that logic would help me out. I had formed an orb in a thorn bush out of thin air. Wings should have been the same deal, right? Yeah. Oh shit. I closed my eyes and relaxed my body, trying to focus on the sides of my spine. I had to think of anatomy. Where would my wings go? Bruh. Ads? No. Where would my wings go? Yeah, imagine... That Where would they go? Okay, no, hold up. You got me thinking now. They go like in between the shoulder blades, right? Okay, we'll figure it out. I concentrated on the 2 points of my upper back, guiding my energy to those spots. I began to imagine what kind of wings I would spawn. Angelic, bat-like, the possibilities seemed endless. A wave of excitement went through me. This was going to be so cool. However, after a full minute of concentration, nothing seemed to occur. I opened my eyes and looked down at myself. My feet were still on the ground and nothing had changed. A flash of anger sparked within me. How difficult was it to lift off the ground? How the heck can I fly? Oh god. As soon as the word burst from my mouth, I shot my hands down in anger, only to be vaulted into the air by some sort of energy force beneath my feet. My body quickly shot up, defying gravity, and sent me towards the ceiling. Because of many factors. No, correctly, it was many factors. Is that true? They quickly zipped over towards me and grabbed me, intercepting my quick ascent into the ceiling while holding me closer to them. It was like being held by a very strong child. As a small frame barely lined up from... Wait. The ceiling while holding me close to them. It was like being held by a very small child. As this small frame barely lined up from my shoulders to my knees. Faye is so tiny. Hold up, wait. Let me just double check something before I give you facts, Chad. Hang on. This is gonna be a pretty cool fact, trust me, just hear me out. Okay, so if they're from 5'4", okay. Okay, hold up. Okay. Mika, the character I'm playing, is 5'4". I'm 5'5". So, you can't see it. They would come probably up to here, can't see it. They probably come up to here on me. And... so Faye would be this tall on me, roughly. Wait, hang on. I could be wrong, but I think this is how tall Faye is. Negative. Up to here. If my calculations are correct. Faye, I know they described Faye as tiny. Holy shit. That is so cute. I cramped my hand while I sat back down, so that hurts. But that is amazing. I'm also taller than Mika, which is awesome. I can't get over that. It hit me for a split moment. Faye was ridiculously low. That's what we're saying! Nevertheless, I gripped onto Faye, thankful that I wasn't going to crash into the wood above us, and looked around and off. I really was in the air, flying or at least being held up by some force. I could feel energy cycle around me through my body, most likely keeping me afloat. I could fly. I looked at Faye with growing excitement of the situation. This was the best feeling ever. Faye grinned before slowly letting me go, proving that they weren't holding me up, and that I wasn't imagining things. Holy crap. Pure elation rushed through me as I merely measured the distance between my feet and the floor. I was in the air, slowly bobbing up and down like Faye, floating freely against gravity. I did it!
You did it! You're flying!
Let's go! I willed my body forward, feeling the air around me slowly guide me. In obedience, the energy in my body moved me through the space. It was incredibly odd, feeling the air slightly brush against my entire body. But I was indeed moving forward. A large grin graced my face as I became more determined with my mental commands. I flew towards Faye and circled them before suddenly flying around the space. I felt this free as a bird, letting my mind naturally drive me in each direction I wanted to go in.
There we go! You're getting it! Let's go.
Woo! Out of pure adrenaline, I arched and did a flip in the air before rocketing back forward and gliding over to turn away from the wall I was on, and quickly, oh my god, gliding over to turn away from the wall I was quickly approaching. The rush of this new power became addicting, and I wanted to do more with it. Still, I couldn't deny the effects using this power was putting me in. I could feel my energy quickly drain away the longer I remained in the air. A slight tingling sensation ran over my legs and hands, reminding me that I had a limited amount of energy. I mentally took note of it and floated over to Faye, putting a lid on my over enthusiastically from the new power, preparing myself to further instructions. I can't read. I'm sorry. Alright, I can fly now. What's next? Faye laughed before placing their hands on their hips.
You really like flying, huh?
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna regret saying that. I couldn't help but not. This was exciting. This was the most exciting thing I had done in the demon world thus far. It was like I was a superhero or something. It was like I was a superhero or something, but I barely had time to think about staying up to remain in the air. And it was increasingly making me giddy. Faye grinned before circling around me and gesturing to me to follow them.
Then let's have a little fun. Come on!
Within the blink of an eye, Faye zipped out of the room and down the hall. Hey! Not wanting to lose them, I wheeled myself forward, starting the chase quickly. Okay, I wheeled myself forward, starting the chase. Oh, it's the neighbor's dogs. Okay, I'm sorry if you can hear them. Hey, B, how you doing? I quickly arched around the corner, looking for Faye, locking Faye into my sights before building up the speed to cut out my increasing distance. Faye was ridiculous.
Whoa!
Moving on.
Sorry, not sorry!
I love it so much. Despite ducking and dodging each speed bump in the halls, I couldn't help but laugh at the thrill of the experience. Faye looked back to me and, oh my god, Faye looked back to me and I laughed as well, but suddenly dropped their expression. With almost a screeching halt, Faye turned their body back upright and didn't hydrate. Thank you. Actually, while I was oh my god, Faye. B, thank you for the hydrate, stretch, and hugs. It's funny, while I was doing the starting soon screen, I was like, oh shit, I don't have my my 2-liter hydrate. I better go and get that, because I know someone's gonna come in and we give the hugs as well. Bonus forehead kiss. There we go. Okay. Where were we? To my surprise, Faye managed to stop me without budging from their place. They placed like they were a perfect brick wall. Why did Faye stop? I turned upright as well, suddenly confused. Faye, however, floated forward ever so slightly and looked into a nearby room, peeking over the corner of the barely open doorway. Out of my own curiosity, I did as well, feeling my energy die out and lower me to stand on the floor at last. I don't remember this. The room we were peeking into happened to be the war room, and we stared at the back of Diana's head as it looked down. As it looked down at the table in front of her, her hands gripping the edges like angry vices, ready to break it. How did Faye know Diana was in here? What the heck was Diana upset about?
How could a squad of scouts be found and slaughtered by a band of wild harpies?
Diana seemed to answer the question, but my mind began to try and imagine what she had said. Harpies existed? A squad of scouts were out and were killed? Chat, what's a harpy? Are they a thing that I should know? I'm gonna Google what a harpy looks like. I only look up stuff on my phone because I already have so many windows open. Okay, it's like a... Okay, so yeah, so for those who don't know, harpies are like bird-human hybrids. I'll bring up this photo. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. But that's a harpy. Okay. Now that we have a visual... I looked up at Faye, seeing them press their lips together in worry as they stared at the succubus. As I turned to look back at Diana, however, I silently gasped and covered my mouth at what I laid my eyes upon. Oh shit. Around Diana's body was a black and purple fiery aura flickering frighteningly in the air around her as she dug her nails into the wood of the table.
I'll have to search for it myself then. But where to start?
Before I could watch further, suddenly afraid of Diana, Faye grabbed my shirt and quickly pulled me away from the door, making sure to cover the hand I had placed over my... I'm pretty sure... Okay, hang on, let me read it again. I apologize. My god. Before I could watch further, suddenly afraid of Diana, Faye grabbed my shirt and quickly pulled me away from the door, making sure to cover the hand I had placed over my mouth with their own for safety.
Let's go. We should get back to training.
What was she looking for? I'm genuinely asking, what was she looking for? Without even giving me an explanation or a chance to break free, Faye guided me back to the training hall. My mind became full of questions, but as we returned to the training hall, Faye became almost like a military sergeant. I had to practice flying and forming my thorn bush to build my stamina until the end of the day. By then, I was too exhausted to ask questions and just returned to my room. I would ask tomorrow. I slowly made my way into the room and sat onto the bed, letting the rush of exhaustion run through me like a wave of water. I shut my eyes and fell back onto the mattress with a soft thud. We were a handful of days away, and I wasn't sure. How we were going to handle it. Now that we were apparently being tested on top of it.
You have nothing to fear from me, child.
Bet. I didn't even have the strength or care to sit back up. I let out a sigh as I continued to stare at the ceiling, greeting the voice in my head with a grimace. Why are you doing this? Why not just testing yourself?
One cannot be tested if they are not ready for the consequences.
That got me to sit up. I looked at the fireplace, remembering the dream I had of Sam being burnt alive. A shudder ran through my spine as the voice chuckled.
You know what will happen if he is not worthy of my power.
But why must he take it?
He wishes to kill the abomination demon lord, correct?
We all do, yes. My anger flared. How was this being so high and mighty of himself? Diana and Sarah seemed to respect him for his power. But if he was so powerful, then why wasn't he here himself testing Sam? The voice answered my thought.
I am bound to the dark, as I have always been for eons.
I was about to call him out. Eons?
Yes, child. My kind and I have lived within the depths of the abyssal plains ever since the dawn of time, feeding off of the ashes of the dead and granting the world above us peace.
Peace. Was it being some kind of underground creature? How was it able to communicate
We
with
are
fire?
all powerful, child. Should we desire it, we could bring the world to its knees and drown it in endless flame.
Neat. From the power behind his voice, I could tell that he was telling the truth. A violent shiver ran up my spine as I imagined the castle and the land around us completely covered in flames. The voice, however, continued.
Fear not, however. We care little for the world above.
Then why get involved now with the Demon Lord? Exactly.
The Demon Lord is a mad abomination, undeserving of the power of the demon world. For what is to come, He must be eliminated.
What do you mean? What's to come?
Talking to the voice.
Hey, ayo! I quickly looked at the door to see Sam staring at me intensely. What surprised me was that he was in his demon form. I could only assume his glamour spell vanished from how much energy he had been using to train. I nodded and looked into the fire. Okay, hold up. I have a really funny headcanon about the boys and their horns. So, okay, look at the size of Sam's, right? Look at him. You gotta be at like, what was he, like 100, he was around like 119 or something in the first game? So like imagine when they first got to the human world, like you're not used to not having them there, so like if he like phantom bumps them or something, like, and like he'd be able to lay on his side, not that they slept often I don't think, but like being able to actually like lay on your side and everything, I just think that's so funny. Like, did I read that? The voice was telling me about itself. It apparently lives beneath the demon world. I hope that Sam knew what it was. Whatever this thing was, it seemed to think of itself as the most powerful being in the world, which I couldn't verify if it was unknown to me. Sam, however, cocked an eyebrow.
So it's a dragon.
Wait, what? I shook my head at Sam, both confused and thrown off by an answer. A dragon. A dragon. When it became part of the list of when did that become a list of demons in the world? How were dragons even remotely related to demons? Your mom. Literally his mom. Sam, well, anyways. Sam stared at my face and laughed before walking over and ruffling my hair.
What? You didn't think they were real?
No, I mean, anything's possible at this rate, but a dragon. How is that possible? The voice in my head laughed at my surprise, but what shocked me was that Sam reacted as well to the laughter, looking around the room in shock.
The fuck?
I am surprised that you know of what I am. Oh, Maurice.
Yeah, this is a really important, so I can say. So, fun fact. So, the father's the demon lord, which he's a brute demon. All of their mothers are succubi, which makes them part succubi. But Sam's mum specifically was also part dragon. Fun facts. So, like, even if James was the oldest, he was probably more powerful.
Call me Sam.
You choose to acknowledge your human name.
Yeah, I do. Got a problem with that?
You become more interesting to me every day that passes, Sam.
I'm sorry. The most powerful beings in existence, and Sam's just like, yeah, problem. You wanna go? Oh, he has no children. I love it. Okay.
Thanks. Now why the fuck are you testing me?
Do you wish to kill the Demon Lord?
I watched as a flash of rage rushes across Sam's eyes as he nodded, pinning his gaze to the fire before us, and seeing the same eyes I had seen before appear within the flames. So, literally, not... I don't know if it works like that. I don't know how it works, actually. I don't know much information about the mothers.
Yeah, I do.
Then I will grant you my power, if you are worthy to take it.
What? If I'm worthy? What's that supposed to mean?
Ego? No. The voice ignored Sam and focused its attention on me.
Child, you should prepare for tomorrow. You will be tested as well.
Me? I stared into the fire, now slightly afraid of what test this thing had in store for me. Would it have Diana disguise herself as Sam? Could Diana even do that? I didn't want to assume that it would use the same trick twice. The possibilities were endless. I shook my head and took a breath. I had to be strong and show that I wasn't afraid. Alright, I'll be ready.
Such confidence for a human.
With that, the eyes vanished from the flames, and Sam looked to me, wrapping an arm around my shoulder.
You alright?
Do we say yes or no? I mean, are we okay? Okay, let's think about this in character-wise. Probably not. Yeah, I feel like no. Let's be real here. Come on, it's a lot. Like our fiance's life's gonna be on the line here. I was nervous. There was no way I could have been alright. I didn't know what was planned for me, what was I expected to do? I shook my head, looking to the ground. I don't know what it wants from me. Sam grimaced and wrapped his arm around me.
Hey, you'll be fine. I'm sure you can pass whatever it's planning, no problem.
I nodded softly. I had to breathe. Everything would be okay. As I took a deep breath, I took a moment to take in that Sam was still in his demon form. I chuckled a bit and touched his horns, which I found hilarious as they protruded from the sides of his head like handlebars. I forgot about that joke. I don't even think I can discuss the joke on Twitch because I TOS. I'm never going to get used to seeing you in this form. Yes, we have seen him in the demon. Yes, we have seen him in demon form before. I was trying to think.
Oh, shit! I forgot to turn back. Sorry!
I stared at Sam as he stepped back and looked down at his form in surprise. As he rubbed the back of his head, I could see the comfort he had in what was his true form. While it wasn't totally different from his human form, he still had horns and the incubus taint on his skin. It would probably be okay. Think about it. It would be more, not just because that's his original form. Imagine how much energy it takes to, like, you know, what do they use? Cloak yourself. It probably doesn't require that much energy given they were doing it for 2 years, but still. Sam shook his head and began to charge his energy.
I'll change back.
Okay, now we have to stop him. Y'all did not get a say in that, because if we went the other one, spoiler alert, we would have died. Consequences. Sam was comfortable in that form. If he was exhausted, then he didn't have to use more energy to glamour himself. Glamour, that was the word. I held out my hand and walked over, placing it on his chest and stopping him.
Huh?
Don't worry about it. You don't have to. Sam. I'm appreciating the line art, like the art. Don't come at me. Sam stared for the longest time before smiling and nodding. I was happy to know that he was considerate enough to consider my feelings, but if he was happy in his true form, then I didn't mind sleeping beside it. Again, the horns. You have to, like, you gotta. It's funny to me. As I looked at him, though, a dangerous curiosity crept over me. I never really thought about making the. Oh, okay. I forgot it gets saucy. I never really thought about making love in this form. In his human form, absolutely, but not with him in his demon. Not with him as the deep. Would it be different than what I expected? Would it be exactly as I imagined? I bit my lower lip, letting curiosity fester in my mind a bit.
What's with the look?
Nothing. I didn't notice the expression on my face I was making as I stared at Sam's body, causing me to jerk my gaze up into Sam's eyes and shake my head. Nothing!
Nothing, huh?
Sam slowly began to stalk towards me, forcing me to step back and eventually lean against. Oh, okay.
I think you're staring at me and thinking bad things.
Nope. I don't know if I can read this. And Sam chuckled and leaning in close, touching his nose to mine.
So, you gonna tell me the truth?
Oh god, did I? I need to make sure I'm picking the right one here to not be get in trouble with Twitch. Because I don't want to get into trouble. Here we go. Here we go, Sam. Ba 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 ba. Shit. Guys, I don't want to fuck up. Okay, it's James, it's Eric, Sam. Oh damn, that's like the first game. I mean the second game. Is it bad I knew it was the first game just based off the answers? No? Yes, no. Okay, no. No, okay, not looking on screen. Okay, no, I'm pretty sure it's this one to avoid it. I wasn't going to- thank God. Can you tell I've never got that option? Oh, don't judge me. I wasn't in the mood to do anything, it was merely a thought. Bless this game for not having to do anything. I was, but it was just a thought. Sam stared, blinking a couple times in silence before stepping back and nodding.
Alright.
That was hot. Respect women, juice chat. I smiled, happy to know that he was happy to know that he was still a courteous, is that how you say that? Guy. He respected me, and that was what made me love him. That was what made him that much more wonderful. I was filled with glee at the thought that I would be the one to marry him. Yeah, see that this is what I love. Okay, you don't have to do these scenes in the game. We're just not doing it because it's TOS, and it's the only reason. Do what you need. I'm not looking. I don't know. I will get TOS. I mean, it's nothing bad or graphic, but still. With a nod on my own, I slipped into bed with him and closed my eyes. I had to prepare myself for whatever the dragon had planned. I half expected to wake up to Diana disguised as Sam as the morning came. Okay, well, we'll stop it there. He seems like a good stopping point. Oh wait, shit, hang on. You're gonna watch me save just to make sure I know I'm doing it. Save. Save? Are you sure? Yes. Okay. Okay, that was fine. I forgot about the last bit there, but anyways. But yes, we do be loving it. Yeah, it was funny before I started stream, I was like, oh, I should play like Happy Pride Month, by the way. I was like, oh, I should play like some sort of like Pride game to, you know, match the theme of the month. And then I looked at the game and I was like, yeah, name me one straight person in this game. I challenge you to. You can't. Let's see who's live. Who are we gonna raid? Oh, perfect. Jonah Scott's live. Okay, I'm gonna raid Jonah. Jonah does the voice of Damien. He also plays Beastars. He plays Legoshi and Beastars. Jump in the server and check the post box. Oh, okay, okay. Oh wait, hang on, let me switch it to that. You know, if it's full, you could just leave another chest next to it, put a sign on it saying for me. Oh, no, man. Yes, I'm sure, because we saved. Let me just make sure okay, I definitely saved. Okay. Yeah, if for some reason you ever... Why is my mailbox full? Jonah, stay live while I check this. You better stay live. But that isn't right. Wait, we need to gift the present. I also have I think I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I've / trusted you with my area, so you know, if you ever need to leave something, you can leave it in my claim. I have a quick check. I am so white on this screen. Why am I white? They're not all mine, relax. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I am. I thought it was the TV and the bad quality of it. Okay, it's an improvement. Oh god, chat. The lighting issue that I've been having on. Frame drop. Hello. Frame drop. Stay with me. It doesn't like Minecraft apparently. Is there a way I can like? Okay, that's how I test frames. I track it. Alright, multiplayer. What was I just talking about? There are 14 people on here. Oh my god. Hey, Playlist is on. Pick up the game. There we go. Oh god, my laptop's fan. It just got really loud. Okay, we will check it really quick. Why do I have a diamond ore? And why is it deep slate? I won't complain. Hi everyone, I won't be long. Neat, I guess. When did I get it? When did I get, okay. We're checking the mailbox and then that's it. Hello, Brownie. Ooh, lag, my god. Okay, what have we got? Holy shit. Bruh. Oh my god. And baked potatoes. I don't even have the inventory space for this. Bruh. Okay, where am I putting all my weapons? This is why we need a sorting stream. Okay, fuck it, they're going in here, I guess. Look at it go. Nice. Actually, I can't get too distracted. Baked potato, baked potato, baked potato, arrows. These are the water. That's such a cool name. Impaling, mending, riptide. Actually, where's the water bucket, just in case? Bro, what? Whoa! Damn it, wrong one. Bruh. Oh, I'm here, let me... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Bruh! What the hell? This is... Oh, I can't get back up. Bruh, what the hell? Oh, damn. Ah, Wings of the Water. That's such a cool name, dude. See if we can practice MLG. Damn it. We got pretty close. Oh yeah, let's not do that again. I don't have the right arm on for that. Cool. I'm mending everything. Bruh, thank you, Alana. It's very nice. I love it. Emeralds. And all of these. There's so many. I really need to do a sorting stream. I'm glad you like. I love it. Thank you. That was my food. Let me get my health back up. Oops. Okay. I'll get my health back up and then I'll leave. Okay. We went in the film. But yeah, thank you, lad. I love it very much. So speaking of next stream, we can either do a lo-fi sorting stream on the server, or I can play a new game that I've been wanting to try. Because I think it's also going to be a pretty chill game at the end of it, so either way, probably a lo-fi stream. But I'm pretty keen to play it. So keep an eye on my Instagram story, which is where I'll probably end up posting the poll. And if it becomes a tie again, I'm just gonna I'll put it on my Discord. So if you want to check out those things. Okay, there's a link to my Instagram. And there's a link to my Discord if you want to join those. But yeah, so we shall be having fun times. Let me hook onto this and then wait for the things to kick over. Hope y'all like the stream. We had fun with the game. According to my Steam, I have 13 of 43 achievements. And once I finish playing this second game, you know damn well I am going to try and get what I don't have. I am determined. You know me, chat. Jonah, what the fuck is on your screen? Okay, so once again, Jonah is the voice actor that does Damien. He also does Legoshi from Beastars. I need to watch the second season of that. But yeah, we're gonna shoot over there. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm slash raid, dude. Why not let me slash raid? Creators motorized can highlight their photos like easily. Oh, okay. Oh, hey, I want to try that now. Hang on, I want to try that. Wait, hang on, we're playing with stuff, chat. We're playing with stuff. And how do you spell announcements? Oh, and now announce the announcement? Is that how you spell it? No matches? No, I can't spell. Now noun C. Why can't I do it? Okay, announcement. Here we go. Oh, damn it. Oh, it's just announce. Okay. Did it work? I can't see it. This text bubble is covering it. There we go. Hey, that's so cool. Mods, you can do that too. So slash announce if you want to do ones like those. But that's so cool. Okay, now real raid time. Okay, hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. I don't know how to spell this gamer tag. I'm pretty sure it's trying to scoot, actually. It is. Okay. Y'all enjoy the rest of your days. I love you so much. And I'll catch you on the next stream. Remember, the votings for that will be on my Instagram. Love you all. Bye bye.